Here it is, the 100th video. I don't think it's the 100th day, because there were a few times kind of near the start where I missed days, but it's round about that. I can't believe I've uploaded 100 videos. I mean, I'm surprised I kept it up for so long, but not that it's the highest effort thing to do, but still, I'm glad I've persisted enough to make this many. Not that. Well, I like just having a little mental log since March. I mean, quite a lot of stuff's happened since that first video. I mean, there was like my first gig with a band, second gig with that same band a few months later. Saw a member leave that band out of some pretty interesting drama. You know, just done probably not as much as I could. I've done probably not as much as I could have done, but today's been quite nice. Me and Millie have just I was feeling a bit with my stomach after last night. The first thing I ate this morning was Pringles. That's probably not going to help with your stomach. And so we went to Wetherspoons just for a coffee. Spent a bit of time there. Normally I accompany home to Wakefields. I didn't really feel like it today just because I don't know, been on a bus for over an hour in total, just feeling like I'm going to shit myself. I went into uni to work on my audio project. Millie's left her sunset lamp here, so 100th video is treated to this lovely lighting. What else can I do for this video? Okay, I suppose I could read a silly little bit from this book. I've been doing it for the past few videos, so I might as well just give a little excerpt. The first time I read this book, it was at my first ever job, and I was in this park. It was night time, so my job used to start quite late, but I'd go to this bench in the park and just read this book. And this particular bit was I remember it hit me quite hard. It's basically these two brothers have just got into an argument about their fate. Essentially, they're like 50 odd, and it doesn't seem like their lives are gonna amount to much more. One of them's kind of a drunken brute. That's Tikhon Illich, and he's got this unrealistic optimism in the moment, and his brother Kuzma is more of a realist at the moment. So they've just had a big argument, and this is what happens after. The outdoor light was beginning to filter blue through the windows. New, fresh snow was fluttering down on the pools of water and the snowdrifts. Kuzma gazed at it and held his peace. The conversation had taken such an unexpected turn that even Kuzma's eagerness had vanished. Not knowing what to say, unable to bring himself to look at his brother's furious eyes, he began to roll himself a cigarette. He has gone crazy, he said to himself despairingly. Well, so be it. It makes no difference. Nothing makes any difference. Enough. He began to smoke, and Tikhon Illich also began to calm down. He seated himself, staring at the lamp, muttered softly. You were talking about Deniska. Have you heard what Makar Ivanovich, that pilgrim fellow, has been up to? He and that friend of his caught a peasant woman on the road and dragged her to the sentry box at Kluchki and kept her there for 4 days, visiting her in turn. Well, now they're in jail, and... Tikhon Illich, said Kuzma amiably, why do you talk nonsense? What's the object? You must be feeling ill. You keep jumping from one thing to another. Now you assert one thing, a minute later you assert something different. Are you drinking too much, perhaps? Tikhon Illich remained silent for a while. He merely waved his hand, and tears trembled in his eyes, which riveted on the flame of the lamp. Are you drinking? Repeated Kuzma quietly. Yes, I am, quietly replied Tikhon Illich. It is enough to make anyone take to drink. Has it been easy for me to acquire this golden cage, do you think? Do you imagine that it's been easy for me to live like a chained hound all my life, and with my old woman to the bargain? I have never shown pity to anyone, brother. Well, and has anyone shown the least pity on me? Do you think I don't know how I am hated? Do you think they wouldn't have murdered me in some fashion if those peasants had got their breeching under their tail in proper fashion? If they had luck in that revolution... Wait, there'll be something doing. It's coming. We've cut their throats. And they're to be hanged on account of a little ham, asked Kuzma. Well, as for the hanging, replied Tikhon Ilyich in agonised tones. Why, I just said the first thing that came to my tongue. But they certainly will hang them. Well, that's no affair of ours. They must answer for that to the Most High. And frowning, he fell into thought and closed his eyes. Ah, he said contritely, with a profound sigh. Ah, my dear brother, soon, very soon, we also must appear before his throne for judgment. I read the Trebnik of an evening, and I weep and I wail over that same book. I'm greatly amazed. How was it possible to invent such sweet words? But here, wait a minute. And he rose hastily, drew from behind the mirror a thick book in ecclesiastical binding, with trembling hands donned his spectacles, and with tears in his voice began to read, hurriedly, as if he feared to be interrupted. I weep and I wail when I think upon death, and behold our beauty, fashioned after the image of God, lying in the tomb disfigured, dishonoured, bereft of form. Of a truth, all things are vanity, and life is but a shadow and a dream. For in vain doth every one who is born of earth disquiet himself, as saith the Scriptures. When we have acquired the world, then do we take up our abode in the grave, where kings and beggars lie down together. Kings and beggars, repeated Tikhon Ilyich with ecstatic melancholy, and shook his head. Life is over, dear brother. I had, you understand, a dumb cook. I gave her the stupid thing, a kerchief from foreign parts. And what does she do but take it and wear it completely to rags, wrong side out? Do you understand? Out of stupidity and greed. She begrudged wearing it right side out on ordinary days, and when a feast day came along, nothing was left of it but rags. And that's exactly the way it is with me in my life. 'Tis truly so. On returning to Donovka, Kuzma was conscious of only one feeling, a subtle, dull agony, and all the last days of his stay at Donovka were passed in that dull agony. That might be the last little depressing thing I read on this channel. I'll probably continue to upload. Well, why not? It doesn't take that much time out of my day. This is my longest video so far, but... no. Oh well. Cheers to the couple of people who've stuck around, and obviously my girlfriend for watching all of these. Bless her. And for just being in my life. Anyway, good night.